What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the replays from our most recent arranged war against Heavenly Zone. For those of you who kind of keep up with the channel, I cover both of these clans. I just recently started covering Heavenly Zone, and they're mostly European, so their war times are a little bit different than my normal stream time. So I try to catch those guys with the replays from after a war, and then stream them occasionally when I can. But very, very strong clan. So at this point in the game, we are looking at a clan that is heading into Elite 15, which is War Whales, and then we are looking at a clan that is heading into Elite 25. So kind of just a little bit more depth in their roster than we have, and definitely shows that in their attacking ability. They did really, really well this war. We didn't do bad, so it was a pretty close war given everything on the table. They only beat us by 2 triples, so not like we're disappointed or anything, but it was a very good war. We got some very, very nice Lalo replays this war. So today I'm going to be recapping and going through a pretty in-depth Lalo breakdown. So the most requested content on my channel is always to do with Lalo. So I'm going to be doing another breakdown on another beautiful Zap Lalo, and it's going to be coming in with, or the attack is done by Red. So he has been featured on my channel many times before the Zaps came out with Sui Lalo, and he took a little break to farm up his heroes, kind of doing his farm thing. Came back. This is his first arranged war back, and he absolutely crushed it. So those are the replays we're going to check out today. It's only going to be one base that we're going to be checking out because I don't want to burn too many bases from either side. And then the next video after this, we're going to be covering some attacks against my base from the Heavenly Zone side. And we're going to look at a crazy, crazy Sui off of a Zap Quake that was completely different than the kind of attack that Red is going to do. And we're going to see what I'm talking about when we compare and contrast the two attacks. So before we get started, just want to say thank you guys for all the support. Couldn't be doing this without you, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content as much as I'm enjoying making it. This week's gonna have some more YouTube content than stream content. I'm a little bit busy at work. I'm running some ranges, and don't really have the energy to get caught up in streams and stuff. But trying to bring you guys some high quality some Lalo content, some other attacks that we're going to be showing too, as well as the features from TDH. Side note, TDH had another outstanding triple in Supercell Clan War League, so I might be showing that. Hopefully he goes like perfect, so I can do a video kind of recapping all his hits. That would be pretty interesting. But yeah, let's get into it. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with your clanmates, share it with your friends. Again, this is going to be a very in-depth planning and walkthrough Lalo video. Now I did get a Lalo triple on this in this war, but the base wasn't maxed. And to be honest with you, this one I'm about to show you is a lot prettier. So we're gonna be taking a look at Red. I like showcasing other people's attacks more than mine, but as you can see, I did end up getting a triple on one of my attacks here. But let's get into Red. So Red was running his bear account, and let's get into the replay. I'll go ahead and pause it. So as you can see, Red and me have different styles of Lalo. If you notice, most of my Lalo content, I go a lot heavier with the Sui and a lot lighter on the loons. I'm much more a fan of the 3-hound Lalo than I am of the 2-hound Lalo. And both of them definitely have a place. Red is far more experienced with Lalo than I am. He's been doing it for a lot longer and a lot more successful. So he's definitely one of those players that when something like a Zap Lalo meta breaks out, he kind of takes it and runs with it because his skill cap for Lalo is already way above mine. So he can identify bases where he doesn't need as much tanking or where he needs more. The value for his Sui is going to be immense here. So really good to get in here and catch some replays from him because he is definitely one of the senior experienced Lalo players in our clan. So we hit this base twice with a Queen Charge Hybrid, and I actually hit this base as well. And I'll kind of run down the plan that we had there. It was actually a really good plan. We had a time fail, but basically we're going to funnel off this building here. And our plan was use 2 loons on this archer tower, funnel off there, use the king to run and clear the funnel on this side, wall break in, and then send the queen directly into this channel. And she kind of just picks off like the single inferno, scatter shot, queen, kind of everything into here under the raid spells, and then funnel in this way, and then hybrid into the base here and kind of just push this way, right? Now it's a late eagle, not ideal for hybrid, not the biggest deal in the world, but the cleanup was my cleanup attempt was on like a 96% time fail, and I went to make the attack, and I forgot to. I was doing it on my phone, and I forgot to mute my Discord. So the entire attack, my phone was just going absolutely crazy with notifications from people planning in Discord. So I kept getting text messages, and when I got around the queen pad here, I ended up dropping what I thought was a raid spell, and it was actually a heal spell on my queen. So I ended up having to use her ability, and then I needed the ability for her to clear through this way, and then I lost the heal spell over here on the hybrid. So very unfortunate. Kind of learned my lesson about attacking on my phone. I'm gonna probably stick to attacking on my tablet. But anyway, so what makes this base good for a Lalo that we didn't originally see with the hybrid plan, right? So not to say it's not a good hybrid base, but we're gonna go ahead and see how red takes this base down with Lalo, and we're gonna look at zap value. So I always talk about places you could zap and get a lot of value. Usually, it's going to involve zapping the CC and either the queen or the eagle, especially when you're coming in with a 7 zap Lalo. So obviously, he's going to be going for the CC here because there's not a ton of value around the eagle. Now, he could zap both of these buildings together here in this corner compartment, right? But he's actually going to be coming in here because he is going to be getting the sweeper as well as the CC and the scatter shot. He's going to miss the zaps on the queen, which is kind of unfortunate. Not the biggest deal because his Sui is going to be coming in from this direction anyway. But it would have definitely increased the amount of value he got out of his Sui had he not had to dealt with the queen on the Sui, right? So let's go ahead and start the initial plan. Let me get my pen back working. All right, cool. So the initial Sui is going to be using a baby dragon here to kind of funnel these 3 buildings. And then he's going to be sending his king in this way. Right, so king's going to run this way, clear the enemy king, kind of do his thing. And he is going to zap 1, 2, and 3. All right, so the next part of the plan is going to be a wall break here in front of the king pad. And his queen is going to step in to get this scatter shot, this sweeper, air defense, royal champ, archer tower, and wizard tower, okay? So as you can see, he's kind of carving out this little pocket here, right? So that's his 2 hero Sui with the zaps. And then he's going to be sneaking his RC in this direction. Now his goal is, I believe here, to get the expos and his air defense down. And there is Teslas up here, so I'm assuming he was hoping his RC would go into the expos first as his king continues to clear around this way and gets into the Teslas and gets those down while the king is tanking. Unfortunately, that's not what actually happens here. His RC is going to hit these 2 buildings and then bounce out for the Teslas. And she's going to end up dying out there, leaving these 2 expos up because the scatter shot is already down, which isn't the biggest deal. You're going to see how he deals with it. He kind of deals with it on the fly, and it's very impressive how he actually does it. But those 2 expos are on ground. So as far as damaging his Lalo, it's not going to do much against his Lalo. He just has to correct it mid-flight. So let's go ahead and mark out all the defenses that we're getting with the zaps and that we're getting with the Sui. So we're going to get all the heroes. We're going to get the sweepers. We're going to get the CC. We're going to get the scatter. And not the expo. We're going to get all these buildings here. All right, so you can kind of see the overall plan here to kind of make your Lalo come from the top side this direction. And he's got 33 loons to make that happen, right? So he's basically shooting directly across the base into the town hall. Now, for some reason, my pen keeps disappearing. Apologize for that. But as that reloads back up, the one thing I want everyone to kind of pay attention to on this attack is the base read on the defenses on the outside running from 12 to 3. So I'm talking about like this mortar, this cannon, and this archer tower. Because the Teslas are here, he knows that he doesn't really have to go very heavy on the loons to support his main pack here, because these are just mortars and cannons. They're not going to actually damage his Lalo, so he only needs 2 loons or 3 loons per defense here. So 3 loons on the mortar, gets into the cannon, gets into the archer tower. 2 loons onto this mortar, get through the mortar, and then, you know, a couple loons here on this archer tower, get that down as well. Okay, so pretty simple overall. The support part of this Lalo is very, very light. So how is he going to go about tackling the initial part of the base? Well, because these expos, let's go ahead and just mark out over here what goes down. Because these expos end up staying up, he is going to have to do something a little bit different. He's going to have to send his Lalo in starting this way. And what that's going to do is give him a nice, big, healthy chunk of loans to kind of come in this direction and deal with these 2 expos and then get directly into this wizard tower, right? And at the same time he's doing that, he's going to have a hound flying into this air defense while he has loons coming in, directly targeting this first 4 layers of buildings, or these first 4 defenses. Now you could see the pathing for these first 4 defenses as you come in from here is to the wizard tower, and then these ones are directly targeting, so to the expo, to the air defense, to the cannon, just like this, right? So everything's consistently pushing forward except this air defense. There's a split that will take place here if you do not get enough loons down quick enough on this archer tower, which will then cause these loons to rewrap back this way or go out to the mortar. So that's where you need to start looking at dropping your support loons to prevent that from happening, because you want the loons to come in this direction, but you want that to happen straight from the air defense. You don't want to go out to that archer tower at all, because as you can see from here, with these loons coming in from the side like this, he's got really good pathing into this next expo, which pushes into this multi-inferno, and he'll have enough trail loons that they start going directly into the town hall here. Now he's going to be flying a blimp with sneaky gobs and whatnot inside the blimp in here, and he'll end up using his tome around the time that this multi-inferno and the town hall are targeting his blimp and his loons. That way it prevents the damage on the loons from the multi and the inferno, or the giga inferno, at the same time, and it allows him to get down the giga inferno with not only the loons from the Lalo, but with the CC. So that's all going to go down together, and as these 2 buildings go around or go down together, you're going to start seeing that he only has to wrap this back side of the base, and he's going to have those loons coming in that were support loons like this, kind of wrapping in as he goes. So once he gets through this initial part of the base, you're going to see that the attack goes very, very smoothly. Now, what makes this base good for Lalo, other than the pathing, because he doesn't have to deal with the sweepers and he goes directly into these defenses, is the fact that he's dealing with the eagle super early on his Lalo. So the eagle obviously is something that really, really damages loons, more so than pretty much any other troop, because loons are so slow and it takes them a very long time to get moving without using spells. And on a Zap Lalo, you're very short for spells. However, he's going to deal with it so early that all he's going to have to do is get through 1 initial barrage of eagle shells. And up, activity is low. Let me reload. Sorry about that. Let's go to Warlog. Heavenly Zone. Attack number 2 from Bear. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. So, kind of the same setup. Let me re-sketch it. As he gets into this eagle, you're going to see he has perfect pathing just to make it through for 1 round of eagle shells. Now, another reason that this base is very good for Lalo is because as he flies this first hound to this air defense, he's soaking up all the traps in here, and he's getting these wizard towers to tank on this hound as his loons come through. And that second hound is going to fly directly across the base and soak up all the traps in front of where his loons are going to end up. So remember when I said after they go from the eagle and this wizard tower, they're going to be kind of heading in this direction with only a few loons going towards the town hall, but they're going to ride this path as they go around. Now with this hound flying across the base into this air defense, that means he's going to soak up every single trap in this area, leaving very little to actually defend against the loons, other than this wizard tower here and this single inferno, which isn't going to cause him any problems because single infernos are very weak against Lalo. So that's the overall idea behind the Lalo in his base. Now, as we take a look at the replay, I'll pause it in key moments so you can kind of see what made the attack successful and the adjustments that he had to make on the fly. So we start the attack. Obviously, we're going in with the zaps. You're going to see he kind of misses his zaps here. I think he just kind of forgot exactly where the queen steps, and he's going to drop it like one tile off, and boom, he ends up missing. Now, he gets 2 zaps off on the queen right here when he gets the sweeper. So she does take quite a bit of damage, which is going to make his Sui a little bit more simple. So he floats that loon in. See if it stays out of range of this air defense. It's going to get the cannon down, which is pretty big value. It's a 1-for-1 trade, so you always want to go for 1-for-1 trades when you can. And he gets that ice golem down to draw attention from his BK, and the BK is going to go in here. Now, 1 headhunter would have been very clutch, but because the freeze got both the king and the RC, which is big on a Lalo, he's going to be able to Sui for both heroes. Means he doesn't really need the headhunters to get through any portion of the base, and that's going to allow him to bring more for his Lalo. So he pumps the king ability just to get him through, forcing the queen inside. And now, if the queen didn't have to pop her ability on the enemy queen here, he would have got a ton more value out of the Sui. Not a ton, but she would have got definitely more because there's nothing really to stop her at that point. Now, here's the point where he runs into that Tesla farm and those 2 expos are up. So we're going to pause it here once everything dies out. And here comes those loons. So he drops 4 loons, or 5 loons here on to this expo. Now, 5 loons isn't going to be enough to trigger the eagle yet. So when you drop 6 loons in one group, it equals a hound, which will trigger the eagle to target that area as the highest group of hit points on the map. But because he hasn't triggered the eagle yet, either with percent or troop space drop, those loons are going to be able to fly in here and take this down no problem because, again, it is a ground expo. Now let's see what he does for the next flight. He's directly targeting that archer tower. Now look at this hound. This hound's flying across the base, tanking everything. And here we go. Hound is tanking all these traps, all these expos. Wizard Tower's getting tanked by the other loons. So they're going to come in here and get this down. And these loons are all going to start meeting here. Now notice he didn't wait for that to happen. He started his second portion of his Lalo. So as these loons are coming in here, as these loons are coming in here, he's got this part going down. Now you see, as these are directly targeting these defenses, he already has his support Lalo coming from the top side. And he only is keeping 5 loons in the bag. And the reason why he's only keeping 5 in the bag is because he only needs 3 here and he only needs 2 here. And that's going to get him exactly what he needs to support these loons, to keep him moving directly through the base where he wants them. Gets his warden down nice and early. That way, all he has to do at this point is focus on that blimp. Here comes the second round of eagle shells. But they're going to actually go onto a pack of loons outside. And not going to affect his Lalo very much at all. Now, here's those support loons that we were talking about. Sorry, I didn't clear the screen. Notice that these loons went into this archer tower and are now meeting up here at this wizard tower. This large group of loons is coming in here just like he wanted. And he's got loons coming in for support this way, right? So it's going to keep all his loons heading on this pre-designated path. And you can see the hound is pulling all these traps along the way to this backside air defense. So everything here is going perfectly to plan. That's 1 red bomb he doesn't have to worry about. Pulls another Sam with the blimp, but ends up popping it. Now he's popped his blimp, or he's popped his tome, so that the loons here are getting twice as much value because they're safe from the Giga and are also safe from this multi-inferno. The hound picks up the tornado trap, which is huge because you don't want to deal with that with your Lalo because it throws off your pathing. And then he's going to continue soaking up traps as he heads to this 3 o'clock compartment. Notice how the loons here are going to completely follow the path that we pre-designated. And then he gets a fortunate split on the back end, but it really wouldn't have mattered at that point if he did or did not get that split because he had so many balloons up. He's got plenty of cleanup around the base. Uses that last haste just to get into that last wizard tower, but he's still got, 15 balloons left up. This base was crushed. And again, another masterclass Lalo put on by Red here. So a lot of people ask me, hey, Ghost, I need help with being able to plan my Lalo I need help with executing it. You know, can you kind of show me the ropes or anything like that? And I'll tell you guys, the best way to practice the Lalo is one, of course, you have your FCs, right? So FCs go a long way, especially when you're hitting a base that you can see from a clanmate and say a Discord server where he can post a base, you can make a plan for it, and actually work on getting the value out of the attack, out of the things that you need. For example, I'm gonna, we'll show you my attack here because it's, I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna rerun this base, but so my plan here is pretty much going to be to zap the sweepers and the expos and the CC. And then I'm going to sui for the bottom side of the base and the town hall. And then I'm going to Lalo into the scatter shots and eagles. And I'm going to be using a slammer full of headhunters and I believe one dragon or a baby dragon in order to deal with the heroes. Now, you're going to see that the best, like the reason why this is successful is because after enough FCs, I can kind of see, and granted, I'm pretty sure this guy was just not running one of his better bases. So I'm not like some god here saying like this was an impossible base that I tripled. It's a lower level base, and I kind of bullied my way through it. I was actually kind of testing the CC troops to see how the baby dragon and headhunters would work because I was interested in what would happen if I sent them in to all three heroes that were still alive. It ended up working out pretty well. But you're going to see as my Lalo comes through here, I'm just being really patient. You know, that's kind of the key, being really patient. Like I want my tome to be somewhere in this area. I want my haste to kind of get me through this area. And it's all about patience. So you're going to see kind of how patient I was on the Lalo here. And that's really what you're looking for as far as your Lalo goes. That's what you need to practice is being very patient. If you look at the attack that Red just did, he was very patient on his troop deployment, and he was very, very patient on his spells to the point that he actually didn't really need the spells on the back end. So that's what you'll see a lot of time with these Lalos, that you don't actually end up using all the spells that you bring. So here I come with the Sui. I used a couple, and again, you see I'm using the 3 hounds. Red likes to use the 2 hounds, different styles, different bases. Different styles or different bases always call for different styles. So it's very important that you can read that as well. And that just comes from practice. So my queen's going to end up stepping in. I get some minions down there just to funnel her in. I was a little worried about her walking out. King is tanking everything on the inside. And as my queen and king kind of go through this area of the base, I'm going to send in my royal champ to clean up the rest of the buildings that they're not going to get. So queen goes ahead and pops her ability. Boom. Down goes the town hall. Down goes the wizard tower. And here comes the RC to do her thing. And then I send in my slammer early because the idea for the slammer is solely to get these heroes down. I'm not looking for a ton of value out of the stone slammer. So I start my hound. I get the hound down early because I know the eagle is going to lock onto that first hound. So boom, takes the shells, soaks all the traps. Next hound is coming down. I freeze. And this next hound that I just floated in is actually not going to fly across the base because my RC took down the other air defense. So not ideal, not what I had planned. But you see the RC is going down to these headhunters and the CC just how I wanted. Now I get a really bad split right there and I end up having to freeze again. But as you can see, I was very patient with the spells. And I ended up having that third hound tank everything for me on the back end, which allowed me to get everything but this one single wizard tower, which kind of was unfortunate. I was hoping my queen would pick it up. But you could see I had a ton of loons left. Hound still at full health. And plenty of cleanup around the base. So when you're asking for help with your Lalo, ideally what you're going to be looking at is planning out your loon drops before you actually get into the attack. You have to know what your Sui's going to get, and you have to really, really plan out the loon drops as they come through the space. What you don't want to do is be reacting to your loon drops and trying to plan them out while you're mid-attack. So Red knew that he was going to get pretty much everything here. He was planning on getting those expos, and then he knew he was going to Lalo like this, right? And in order to make that happen, you have to send these loons in early, and then you have to keep enough loons here, and you have to time them well enough, you know, doing the math in your head on travel time in order to bring your loons in this way. Now, if these loons are lagging behind a little bit, then it's probably not a good idea to haste these loons forward because they're going to split like this. So he times these well. Once everything is solidified, uses the haste, uses the freeze, uses the tome, and gets to the base. So that's the basics, and I wouldn't say the basics. That's like the expert Lalo attack that someone like Red will bring after years of practice. If you are looking to get practice on Lalo, you just find a base, even if you copy this base, have your buddy copy it, you send them the base link for it, and you say, hey, I want to practice on this base. I'm going to rerun the exact same attack that I saw on YouTube. And you're just going to get the feel of the Lalo until you understand the deployment for it. Once you start understanding the deployment style for Lalo as opposed to something like Hogs or Miners, you're going to start seeing that it's a different style of attacking. It's a slower style of attacking and a much more methodical style of attacking. And once you start getting that, you'll see that your gameplay will expand along with your base recognition to be able to see that. You know, one thing that jumps out on this base to anyone who attacks with Lalo or Hogs is this pathing right here. You know, this pathing right here is just crazy good because this is exactly what you're looking for when you're dealing with troops that only target defenses. You know, you get direct pathing into the Eagle, direct pathing into the back end, 3 Inferno Towers. You deal with the Giga with the Blimp, and you're literally just like a heat-seeking missile through the important defenses, and you don't have to deal with any of the heroes, any of the scatter shots. You have one air defense here at 12, one air defense at 3, so your hound pathing is literally right down the lane that you're creating for your loons. It doesn't get any better than that with Lalo pathing. So those are some of the things that you're looking for, and I just wanted to bring you guys some, some tips, some planning, so maybe you get the planning process down, get to see that. It's, to me, it's very important to see the planning process for being able to understand an attack. So the next video, I'm also going to be bringing you a very, very nice Zap Lalo, and it's going to be against my base. So these guys absolutely demolished one of my bases. It was the first time I ran it, and these guys put it to sleep. I wouldn't say it was a bad base. I will say that the guy had a really sick plan and it really worked. So big shout out to Fief. He really stepped on my base, and it was actually fun to watch. I no hard feelings about it. Sometimes people just crush your base, but that's it for the video today, guys. Big shout out to my wife. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the quality of the thumbnails and the quality of the videos has just been going up and up and up. I've also realized after talking with my wife that my streams during my afternoon times, it would be unfair of me as a dad to tell my kids that they're not allowed to play. My kids are, 11, 7, 3, and 1. I can't tell them to like go in the closet and shut up. So streaming during the afternoon time for me is very difficult. So I probably won't be doing those streams anymore, but I will be streaming at night. I'll be having a lot more nighttime wars, and I'll be streaming those wars to you guys more often. But the afternoon streams for me are just a little, I don't want to be a bad father and be like, hey, you guys got to shut up so I can play Clash of Clans. So apologies for my European fans that like watching me stream. They're going to be fewer and far between, but I hope you guys can catch the streams on the back end. I upload them to YouTube immediately, so you guys can catch all the action right after literally like a couple hours after I go live on the stream. So hopefully that is enough for you guys to kind of stick around with it. And more people like my YouTube videos than they like my streams. So that's it, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you like the breakdowns. And I'll be bringing you guys another breakdown immediately following this video. So you guys have a good day. I'll catch you on the next one.